Well, Sonic Frontiers, what a game. What a game, I can tell y'all. It is totally phenomenal. Like, do yourselves a favor and buy this game. It's totally worth every dime. But if you don't believe me, let me just go into my thoughts about it. And before we go on, these are my spoiler-free thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. So just want to put that out there so you don't go on and you're like, crap, what was that Sonic did? Nah, I'm not going to do that to you. Just trust me, this is a spoiler-free review, so let's move on. So where do I start? Well, I think like any game, the most important thing is the gameplay. How's Sonic Frontiers? How does it play? Well, Sonic took a very different turn in its playstyle in Sonic Frontiers. Instead of the typical linear style that we were used to from the classic 2D games, or the 3D games as well from the Adventure and Boost era, Sonic Frontiers took on an open world style, or as they like to call it, an open zone style, similar to that of Breath of the Wild and any other open world games that you can think of. My personal experience with open world games were mainly in the Kingdom Hearts series. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 a lot back in the day, and I really loved those games a lot. So, to see Sonic kind of tackle something similar like that, I wasn't quite sure what to think of. But once I played Sonic Frontiers, I was amazed. Everything between the open world mechanic, or I'm sorry, the open zone mechanic, and collecting all sorts of items needed to level up Sonic as well as progress in the story really made me want to explore a lot more. There are 5 islands that you could explore in Sonic Frontiers, and usually the main objective at each island is to collect memory tokens to save one of Sonic's friends. Though to collect all these memory tokens, you have to go to the different obstacles throughout the island and find where all these memory tokens are scattered. And while exploring for these memory tokens, you'll come across lots of robots and guardians on the island, where you can collect skill points to use in the skill tree, or power and defense seeds where you can use to level up Sonic. You also find these creatures called Coco that are scattered throughout all the islands. In terms of gameplay, collecting Coco became crucial to increase Sonic's ring capacity and speed, which are really important later in the game whenever you want to hold your super form longer, as well as just travel throughout the island much more efficiently. As for the power and defense seeds, you could use those to level up Sonic's strength and defense, which definitely become necessary later on as you progress throughout the game. As it gets tougher and tougher, you really want to get Sonic stronger and stronger and more resilient to take on harder attacks. Aside from all the exploring that you do throughout the island, one big thing that's different about Sonic Frontiers is the fighting mechanic. What I love about the fighting mechanics in Sonic Frontiers is that it felt like it played homage to Sonic Unleashed fighting mechanics, or at least how we got to level up the Werehog a lot. But here in Sonic Frontiers, we would collect skill points by defeating enemies and use those to unlock different skill abilities in the skill tree. One of my most favorite skills was the homing shot, or I think that was the name of it. I'll just show B-roll of it right here so you know what I'm talking about. But knowing about all the combinations to use can be a little bit of a struggle, but it's really fun whenever you get it right. Another common thing that you need to collect on the islands are gears. You usually get them when you defeat a guardian on each island. You use these gears to unlock portals that take you to cyberspace levels, which play homage to the Boost games all the way from Sonic Unleashed up to Sonic Forces. And the cyberspace levels were really well designed, if I say so myself. It really captured that essence of what we're used to with Sonic games from the Boost levels, and really gave a sense of that fast-speed platforming that we expect from a Sonic game. Another cyberspace portal you can unlock is going to Big's Fishing. At Big's Fishing Zone, you go fish for all these sorts of different fish, as well as treasure chests and item boxes and God knows what else, to collect fishing tokens and gold cards they can go spend at the shop at Big's Fishing. All the items that you can buy at Big's Fishing are anywhere between power seeds and defense seeds and cocoa, and this is your chance to really stockpile on all of those items because you can use those to further level up Sonic, and it's pretty much your guaranteed way to speed up leveling them up. So definitely recommended. One other item that you can get from Big's Fishing Shop are the egg memos. I didn't think they were much at first, but they are crucial. You can beat the game without getting them, but they're crucial to know about if you want to know more about the lore of Sonic Frontiers and how it connects back to prior Sonic games, especially in the Adventure series. I'm not going to go into the details of it here because I want to keep this video spoiler free, but I'm just going to let you know that they are worth it. Go buy them. Please, do yourself a favor and buy them. The last thing I really want to talk about in terms of the gameplay of Sonic Frontiers is whenever you collect all the Chaos Emeralds. In order to collect the Chaos Emeralds, You need to collect vault keys, which you get from going to the cyberspace levels. Depending on how fast you complete the cyberspace levels, as well as get all the red star rings and a certain number of rings, you can get vault keys rewarded to you, which you can later on use to collect Chaos Emeralds. And as soon as you get all 7 of them, you know it, you turn into Super Sonic. And let me tell ya, playing as Super Sonic against each one of those titans at each island is fun. It is really well done, and honestly, I think these are the best Super Sonic boss fights that we've ever had in the Sonic series. Yes, I just said that. Even better than Sonic Adventure 1's, even better than Sonic Adventure 2's and Sonic Heroes and Sonic Unleashed's. It may just be the best. I'd probably have to think on that a little bit more, but it's up there. It's really well crafted and totally worth it. It's just so satisfying to use all those skills that you learn from the skill tree and get all those combos right whenever you fight the boss as Super Sonic. Now into the story of Sonic Frontiers. I'm not going to go into the deep detail of it because I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible, so I'll just kind of gloss over some of the overarching details. Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles go to the Starfall Islands, and they all get trapped in cyberspace when they get there. Sonic was able to escape cyberspace, but he has to save his friends. And there's this ghost girl that commends Sonic on how he's able to escape cyberspace, yet she also commands him on how he can save his friends. On the other hand, Eggman released an AI named Sage, whose primary responsibility is to make sure that Sonic doesn't interfere with Eggman's plans. But throughout the story, Sage learns a lot from Sonic's actions, and her character development and story displays a very important lesson that we should all know about. But I'm not going to go into the detail because I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible, so you'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Aside from that, I'll just say that the characters were written really well in Sonic Frontiers, between Sonic and Tails and Amy and Knuckles, and as well as Eggman and Sage. Ian Flynn, the writer of Sonic Frontiers, who also writes the IDW comics, did a phenomenal job writing the characters. Ian Flynn does a really good job understanding the lore and the characters of the Sonic series, and he really does a great job showing the different bonds between Sonic and his friends. And overall, he did a great job tying in the different parts of the Sonic series, from the Boost era and the Adventure era, and tying it all together into Sonic Frontiers. The guy's a genius. Like, I can't believe that he was able to do that. Basically that he was able to unify the entire 3D Sonic era. One last thing I want to say about the story without going into too much detail is that this is a crucial game to play if you want to learn more about the story of the Chaos Emeralds and how they came to be. It's almost like a prequel to the Adventure series, if you know what I mean. So if you're a big fan of the Adventure series like me, this is definitely a game to play. You will not regret it. The last thing I really want to say about Sonic Frontiers is the music. The game overall took a much different approach as far as Sonic's music, but would I say it was for better or worse? Well, I guess that's up to you. The music in the open zone islands really had this kind of somber-like feel to them. It wasn't your hard rock music that you would have in prior Sonic games. It was much more somber and calm. But if you really like that techno pop that was in prior Sonic games, well, it's right here in the cyberspace levels as well. I really like the techno pop genre, so I was really happy to hear it in the cyberspace levels, and they're really well composed. I can honestly just listen to them on repeat and just kind of bop to it. And as for the somber, calming music of the open worlds, it really feels like something I could honestly meditate to. It's just that calming. Now in conclusion, my own thoughts on Sonic Frontiers is that it's a phenomenal game. It's definitely up there in my top 5 Sonic games, maybe even my top 4. I'm not sure where I'd rank it as far as the adventure games and Unleashed, but it's up there. I haven't played a Sonic game this epic since Sonic Unleashed, and that's saying a lot. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the Sonic games from the 2010s, I really did. But Sonic Frontiers matches that level of epicness that we got from the Adventure series and Unleashed. So if you're wanting a Sonic game with a deep story and wonderful gameplay, I highly recommend Sonic Frontiers. You won't regret it, it's worth every dime. Please, play it yourself and you'll see what I mean. So did you play Sonic Frontiers? What did you think about it? Are you thinking to buy it? Let me know in the comments below. And check out this playlist on my honest thoughts on the Sonic series, or check out this video that YouTube recommends to you. And also feel free to come by the Discord server. I'll leave a link in the description. Alright, well thank you so much for watching, and as always, we are Eternal for Life.